Needs need to be met in marriage. It's a must. In Leadership 101, they teach you what you're supposed to focus on as a leader. Like, how do you know when you have a laundry list of things that need to get done for this organization? How do you come out of micromanagement? And the way that you come out of micromanagement, of doing too much and being all over the place and stressing yourself, is you have to think about the team that you have and how to leverage their strengths to accomplish the greater work in bite-sized pieces. So you begin to delegate. You do this and you do that. So how do you know what you have to do? The leader does the thing that no one else can do. That's how you know as a leader what to prioritize. So if you know that no one else can be intimate with your spouse because you set out to have a monogamous relationship, then intimacy in the bedroom is a non-negotiable because no one else can do it. You see, when it comes to finances, the government might be able to help. God forbid something happen, right? When it comes to home ownership, shoot, we might have to sell our house and we might have to be renters for a while, right? Some we can do it in another form or fashion, but no one else can provide physical intimacy, and no one else can provide my wife emotional intimacy and connection. So when my wife says that she feels hurt, bothered, forsaken, neglected, abandoned emotionally, for any man, big alarms and bells need to be, oh, like you in danger, that's a danger zone. Because that need has to be met. And therefore, it has to be prioritized, right? So being attuned to your spouse and being attuned to what to focus on, right? Having, we talked about, of course, having follow through, and then, and also how you communicate, right? Like your communication has to be on point, it has to be consistent. You have to be able to consistently communicate in a way where you guys are able to have honest conversation without creating war. So you have to know how to open a conversation. You have to know how to close a conversation. You have to know how to negotiate terms versus compromise terms, right? You have to repair quickly. These are the things that you need to do in order to keep the trust strong in a marriage.
Yeah, and like everything that you're saying, it requires work, it requires intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on a regular basis, like you say, you got to take the crooked with the straights. You just
Yeah.
want more straights than crookeds. Because and it's something that I've learned, and I knew, but I was being lazy about it. I'm gonna just put myself out there, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
realizing now it's like when my wife and I have pillow talk, it's like when we're talking, I'm looking at you. Before we should just kind of lay in the bed and look up at the ceiling and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, you know what? No, this needs to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Let When we're in bed, I'm looking at you, you looking at me. We are both
Yeah.
face to face looking at each other.
Yes.
You know, but it's little stuff like that, but it has to be intentional because it's easy to just get in the bed and be like, all right, how was your day? Kind of roll your side and y'all both go to sleep. But
Mm-hmm.
it requires that intentionality. And I think that's where a lot of people miss it when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, trust, is that a lot of times people forget about being intentional. And a lot of times, and I think we talked about this before, a lot of times we're on autopilot. We know what to do on a regular basis, and it was just like clockwork. And
Yeah.
so for you to be intentional, you have to come outside of your autopilot thinking and be like, you know
Yeah.
what? How was your day today? And it's something that my wife and I do is I ask her, and she started asking me now, but I would ask her, I'd be like, so what did you learn new today? And
Yeah.
she would tell me, and then she would ask me, and I'd be like, dang, I was like, that's a great question, you know.
Yeah.
But it sparks the conversation and stuff like that. It has to be intentional. So I'm just saying all that to say is like, yeah, you got to be intentional. You got to keep it
Yeah.
fresh,
You gotta be curious and
curious.
humble, right? You can't always assume that you know, right? We just have to have a posture of humility and be curious. Remember to be curious again.